Hi everybody! Thanks for stopping by to check out the latest from Sailing Emerald Steel. In this video we're going to be sharing with you how we went about doing a emergency mid-ocean engine cooling system repair. And before we get started with that, we once again like to thank all of you that took the time to leave a comment and a thumb up on our last video. We love hearing from all of you, so keep the comments coming.
In this video we will show that it doesn't matter how prepared you are for a long ocean passage, things can happen and you better be prepared. Now we carry extra parts with us in case of emergency, but like everything else you cannot be carrying everything with you, so you pretty much have to depend on your logic and common sense to try to make things work. So when we left French Polynesia we was hoping for a quick passage, hoping they're not having any problems, but as the things will show, you never know what to expect. So hope you enjoy it and maybe even learn something from it.
Beautiful Taha. I'm going to be sorry to leave. Right there's Julius at the helm. Hey Julius, you ready for the passage?
Yep, I hope we have a safe trip.
Okay.
Hawaii lays about 2,300 miles straight line, but God knows how many miles we're going to have to make actually to get there.
Okay, well, hope we have a good winds. Safe trip. It's our third day out from Raiatea to Hawaii, and we had wonderful weather up to this point, but now we've got some really ugly looking squall coming down on us. And it's been like this for the last couple hours, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad. We've got our little small Yankee jib out, double reef main, where we just came from. There's Jules sitting in the cockpit. Hi Jules! You love the squalls, don't you? Alright.
We just entered doldrums. We're in the latitude 6 north. With the pouring, raining, pouring pretty much all night long. Buckets
and buckets of water. It's amazing. That's how the intertropical convergence zone looks, folks. Not very pleasant. Hey, Jules eating his breakfast burrito right now. Hope it's good.
A treat. It's even better than Pancho Villa had in Mexico himself.
So here we were in doldrums. We decided to power for a day or so to charge the batteries and
get out of the doldrums.
make some progress till the winds come back. Now, as we were in the evening sitting downstairs, suddenly we both look at each other and he says, "Do you smell coolant?" And I said, "Yeah, it smells like a coolant." So right away I jumped out, went and checked the engine temperature, everything looked good. So right away I shut the engine off. We opened the bilge, and there in the bilge we had about 2 gallons of coolant. I was very puzzled that so much coolant was in the bilge. Engine was not overheating, so I put my finger in the coolant, tasted, put on my tongue, and I right away taste the salt. So upon thinking for a while, I knew that there is some major problem with the cooling system. So we had to wait a while till the engine cooled down, because naturally you don't want to open the reservoir for coolant when it's under pressure. Waited for a while, and then when I opened the reservoir, I saw that the reservoir was full of coolant. So now it doesn't add up. Then you have a full reservoir of coolant and also 2 gallons in the bilge, so something went wrong. So here, the blue tube is our heat exchanger, and once that develops leak, here the reservoir got filled up with the salt water, and here is the pressure cap. Under pressure it opens, and via this tube goes into a overflow tank, and once that gets filled up, naturally coolant with the salt water went into the bilge. So I knew that time has come, we will not be able to have an engine. Now I realized some boaters, sailors, very few, but some don't even have an engine and only depends on the sailing. But we don't subscribe to one of those sailors, because we believe that anything you have to help yourself, you should do it. But anyway, we were still about 800 miles from Hawaii, and we knew that sooner or later the wind picks up, so we just kind of hang around till wind came. And then we continue sailing towards Hawaii.
Last night about 8 p.m. we left doldrums. We pick up a light northeasterly trade winds. But by about 2 o'clock in the morning, the winds raise up to about 25 knots. First we put a grip in our staysail, the Yankee jib, but then the wind increased further. We had to lower the staysail to do heavy beating. And this morning, right now, 7:30 in the morning, which is Sunday, November 2nd, we are sailing towards Hawaii on a course roughly 320 degrees. Boisterous trade winds, but she's handled very, very well. No complaints. And trades are forecast to stay like that all the way to Hawaii, which will be in about 5 days' time.
Now, what happened was this. We were okay with our engine, but when we got to within about 250 miles from Hawaii, all the winds died. Now, when we listened to SSB radio, the forecast was not very encouraging. The low was coming down from Alaska towards Hawaiian Islands. They were forecasting winds 35 knots plus, that means strong gale. And we knew that if we don't get out of there and make a Hawaii, we might get blown back to the equator, and we were not looking very much forward to it. Now, having a fuel tanks pretty much full of diesel, have an engine which was practically nothing wrong with it except a cooling system, we had to decide how we go about it to make it work. Now, here is a diagram to show it to you how heat exchanger work. Here is simple sketch of a heat exchanger, which consists of a large tube about 4 inches in diameter, and inside the tube you have a copper tubing, and out here is a divider. Salt water comes in and goes through the little tubes to the other side, and from this side salt water exits into our exhaust system, while coolant from the engine goes in and a circulate around those tubes and coming back up into the engine. So it's pretty much salt water in, salt water out, coolant in, coolant out. Now, if one of these tubes here, the small tubes, should break or something happen to it and develop leak, you're in trouble, because the salt water will be mixing up with the coolant, so you're pretty much screwed. Okay. So once you remove the heat exchanger, you end up with 4 hoses. In our case, it's 1-inch hoses. Again, you got salt water in, salt water out, coolant in, and coolant out. Now, simple way would be to connect those 2 hoses together, so salt water runs into engine and comes back and go back down to salt water exit and continue into the exhaust system. The problem with that would be this here. Then if the thermostat close because the engine is still cold, it would be develop too much overpressure because the salt water pump would be on, so it might blow up your fittings. Plus, they will not get any water coming into your exhaust system, and that could create a fire condition because the exhaust system is made out of hoses. So what we did about it, we went a different way. So here is what I've done. I took 2 1-inch barb tees. I connected salt water into a tee and continued into the engine. Same on this side. I took a 1-inch barb tee, connect from the engine and back salt water into the exhaust pipe. Here I connect the 1-inch bypass hose. I put into the hose 1/2-inch bolt to restrict the flow. So what happened now is, when the thermostat is closed on the engine, water can run through bypass hose into the exhaust system. This way engine can get warmed up nice, and also your exhaust system is protected because get a cooling water. Now, once the thermostat opened, because of that bolt being here, restrict the flow, it gets plenty water going to the engine to cool the engine off, and it returns back here into the exhaust system. It worked perfectly for us, ran the engine for 48 hours without any problem whatsoever. So once we got into Hilo, Hawaii, we right away ordered a new heat exchanger, drain the engine of the salt water, and then we installed a heat exchanger back. We fill up our coolant tank with clean water and 2 cups of vinegar. Run the engine for about 2-3 hours to flush it very well. Then we drain it again. We repeat that process one more time. Then in the end we fill up with fresh water, and we test the water with our meter for our water maker to see how much salt, if there's any kind of residue of salt. Once we saw that there was no salt in the engine, we added 50% of coolant, and we were back in the business. So that's pretty much the story, how we fixed the engine temporary to get us into the harbor, because once we got into Hilo in the morning, by that evening it started blowing, and it blew pretty good for the next 2 days. We were very happy. They were anchoring in the radio bay instead of be outside fighting a storm.
I'm lucky I have such a smart husband.
Okay.
Okay guys, so I guess that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it. And don't forget to leave a comment and a thumb up if you liked the video. And we'd also like to thank all of you that support our channel through Patreon and PayPal. We really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.